Welcome to the Inspired Riding Podcast. I'm your host, Beth Lauren Parrish. As a certified riding instructor, remote coach, and rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a powerful form of hypnotherapy, I'm here to remind you to slow down, trust your intuition, and really deeply listen to your horse. And this will make for the best co-creative dances possible, whether you're on the ground or connecting on their backs. Thank you so much for being here, and here we go. Hello there, Inspired Riders. Thank you so much for joining us again. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing one of my favorites, Carrie Damato. Carrie has an equitation-based riding program in Central Florida at the Dark Horse Arena. She's also one of our fabulous judges for the Inspired Riding online show. I'm so excited to interview her today to again talk about support for riding instructors. Thank you so much for being here, Carrie. How are you?
Doing well, enjoying the lovely weather that we're having in Central Florida right now. This is our cool spot before summer begins.
That's beautiful. And you were mentioning your horses were having a bit of the zoomies just like mine, huh?
Yes, they are really enjoying it, kicking up their heels. And you would think in their 20s they would know better, but no, fun is fun.
I think they think they're ageless. They just do what they feel like doing, right?
For sure.
I love it. So, Carrie, my first question for you is, what do you love most about teaching?
Most about teaching would be opening new doors to somebody, showing them a world that they may have only peeked at and thought that it was unobtainable. So opening new doors to a different world.
That's beautiful. And it really is a whole new world when you walk through the horse world, isn't it?
For sure.
So I know you've been teaching many years. I'm not sure longer than me or not, but I'm wondering how have you shifted your way of teaching over the years?
I'm gonna age myself. How long have I been teaching? Hold on, I'm thinking. You threw a wrench. Let's see. Teaching professionally? Oh wow, I'm old. 1996 was when I started teaching professionally.
Okay, you got 4 years on me.
Oh, wow.
Because I started in 2000.
It isn't the years, yeah. It's the mileage.
Totally. My husband has that shirt, the Indiana Jones quote.
Yes, it is definitely the mileage. How have I shifted? There's been a couple of hard lefts, soft lefts, a bunch of yields, maybe a couple of train wrecks.
Oh, gosh.
And how I've shifted. The biggest one is ask, don't tell. So shifting the mentality of teaching people how to ask their horse. If we ask a question, we give them the opportunity to answer in their own time and in their own way. If we make a demand or tell them to do something, where's the joy in that? So I would think my main shift would be I'm asking and not telling.
That's gorgeous. I've definitely shifted from that as well. And it's kind of like how we grew up is, we had to tell the horse who was boss. And
kick.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. That whole alpha head mare stuff just, it doesn't work. If you actually take the time and observe how horses learn amongst themselves, it's through open communication on both sides, which if you're not open to opening that two-way street, then all you're doing is just barking at commands, out commands. And yeah, watch how they learn with each other. It's, oh, that's something to spook at. Everybody spook. Wait a minute. That horse isn't spooking. Why are they spooking when all of us think we should be? Oh, it's not that scary. So, yeah.
I'm so glad that you've made that shift as well. It's gorgeous. And I'm sure the horses appreciate it big time.
It was, and when I teach, especially beginners, we call it the aha moment, when the entire picture is revealed and it's, oh, that's how it's supposed to be. And yeah, I kind of had my aha moment after teaching wasn't fun anymore. I was about to shutter the doors, sell what lesson tack I have, because it just wasn't fun. It became a job. And my mentality and how my brain is wired, if it's something I have to do and there's no joy in it, well, then why should I do it? So it was huge. It was a giant shift, and I was absolutely burnt out. And I don't know if you're going to touch on this down the road, but it was partially my fault because I wasn't attracting the people that I wanted to teach. So that was a huge part. And once I figured out who I wanted to teach, that helped the shift big time.
Yes. And once you have that clarity on who your ideal client is, you send out that vibration, that frequency, and then they can find you, and you shift your messaging in your marketing as well. And then they're like, oh yeah, you're speaking my language, and they want to come find you.
Exactly. And that ideal client, your ideal client isn't my ideal client. And so there is no recipe there's no exact recipe for the ideal client. It ends up being like, I call it a granny recipe where nothing's measured. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And your little bit may be different from my little bit. So yeah, there is a recipe for it, but it's not set in stone.
Right? It has to taste good to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to show up for it, right?
Exactly. Not everybody likes California or Carolina Reapers in their chili. That might be a little too spicy for some. So yes, you have to know, you have to figure out what you like, what you want, and then send it out into the universe, so that they will come. I just finished up a lesson right before we wrapped up at 5:30 with a family that has a young rider, and she is exactly who I want to teach. Somebody who's excited to be there, who is, even when they have a bad day, is still happy to see a horse. We had a rough day the lesson before this one. She had a rough day. It was just not her day. And we all have those days. And did I put her on the horse and make her do her figure eights? No. We chilled, we brushed, we played a couple of games, we had fun. But the old way that I was taught to teach was, this is the program, this is the formula, we will be working on this equation with this formula. And yeah, so we just rode in bareback pads and played games and had a great time.
Oh my gosh, that sounds perfect. I love that. It's so good to just adapt to what you need in the moment for your student and your horse.
The ability to adapt is something that I think I need to still work on. It's hard for me sometimes to get out of the way, to break that cycle of the old school training that we were taught. So it is something that I do work on, because my first thought was to let's suck it up, let's tighten those half chaps, and let's go. I was like, no, we're not going to do that.
Good. So what was the thing that made you half hop back to make that shift in your mind?
Picturing myself as my own student. What would I want to do in having a bad day? I don't want to work on my figure eights. I don't want to work on my diagonals. I just want to be. I just want to be with my horse. I just want to be.
Beautiful. That's an awesome way to look at it. Like, what would work for me in this moment? So I want to go back, Carrie, to what you were saying before about how you were going to close your doors. I wasn't clear if you did close your doors for a little while or you were about to? What helped you make the shift to come back to it?
Okay, I actually did shudder. I made a post that said, it's the time's come. I'm burnt out. I've had fantastic time teaching for all these years, but it's time to focus on me and my horses. And what opened the door again is in the area that I'm at, there are lesson barns with teaching teams, but there are no actual coaches. Not everybody wants to show. Not everybody is competitive. And not everybody is mentally ready to go on a trail ride in the woods. So there's a hole in this area. And I had a lady contact me that said, hey, I've ridden in some show barns. It's on my bucket list to ride the mules down the Grand Canyon. I'm not sure how I need to prep for this. I know how to ride. I can walk, trot, canter. However, I don't know anything about actual trails. I know nothing about elevation. So I said, all right, let's discuss. So she came out and met my horses because I always do a meet and greet with the horses. If my horses don't vibe or I don't vibe, then I'll recommend a couple of other places. I have to meet you before I'm going to teach you.
That's so smart. I love that.
I've gotten in to situations where I should have trusted my horses and I didn't, and that will bite you in the behind 100% of the time. Their intuition is so much greater than ours, and I will always trust my horses, always, especially when it comes to people. But yeah, we did the meet and greet. I got a little bit more information from her. We talked about I got the information about the pack company that she was riding with, researched them, figured out a little bit, what their style was like. We did some tack. We looked at their tack, their setup, and I matched what I had in the closet of Narnia, which is also my tack room. And we got our rig set up as close to what she would be riding in. And we went from there. And she had a great trip. She rode all the way down from the top, all the way down to the bottom.
Wow.
And then rode from the bottom all the way up to the top. So it was pretty cool. It was neat.
That's amazing. So
that
was the first.
That's what got me back into teaching. So I started changing my marketing because, we want to find the ideal client. I tweaked my marketing a little bit, and now I do have several students that ride weekly, and we keep it real low key. We're as adaptable as we can be, as flexible as we can be, and that's what I want. That's what I needed. As an instructor, that's the type of student that I needed. So,
I'm so glad that you made that work for all of you, and I'm sure your students are so grateful as well.
I like to think so. They keep coming back, so we're doing something right.
Totally. Oh my goodness. So this kind of goes along the same lines. How do you stay inspired now?
That's hard. I have a very unusual and unpredictable life. We roll with the punches out here. It can be crazy ups, downs. It's the only thing that stays the same is just absolute chaos. So, when it is, how do I stay inspired? After I had the shift, and I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to toot your horn a little bit. It was the journal in your book that really kind of gave a different perspective of what I should be looking for. And the whole idea of this is what I get to do. That was the shift. This is what I get to do. I don't have to do this. I get to do this. This is an honor and a privilege that not a lot of people have. And I went back to thinking about like my 10-year-old self would be absolutely over the moon of where I'm sitting right now. I know you can't see where I'm sitting, but I'm in the middle of a tack room that has probably, I don't know, 30 saddles. There's probably 50 to 80 bits on the wall. I've got now 3 of the best horses that have ever walked the face of the earth, 15 yards from where I'm sitting. There's a lit riding arena at the front of this gorgeous lined property. My 10-year-old self would just fall over. She'd pass out. And how I stay inspired is by honoring that little kid who wanted nothing but to be where I'm at now.
Oh, I got full-on chills. That's gorgeous.
Just honoring that little kid and I still get excited when I drive and see horses on the side of the road. Just honoring that little kid. I'm ecstatic. I'm looking at a bunch of winter blankets that I just washed. I have to fold and put up, and it's like I get to do that.
Totally.
It's wild. It's wild.
So fun. Oh, I love that. What are your top teaching tips that you'd like to share to elevate the horse world?
Top teaching tips. Number one, and this is something that I'm kind of like really opened my eyes to this year. I know we're only in February, and it's been a wild January for everybody, but the aspect that mental health is just as important as your physical health when it comes to the horse world. And it is your mental health and your physical health will, if you are continually trying to improve them, will only make your horse's health better. So my tips would be take care of your mental health. If it's a rough day, don't ride. Just chill, just be. Go out in the pasture and be. Another tip would be to set obtainable goals. And they don't have to be competition minded. That is just, not everything is a competition. Just because you see a rider that could do fancy leg yields, or, good shoulder in, shoulder out, how about you look at videos and go to a couple of clinics and check out how they're actually doing that. That was a rabbit track. We were talking about that with somebody else earlier today. Top teaching tips would be also to continue your education. The more educated that you can be in your specific field, the greater everything else is going to be. It is really important not to get burned out. So one of my greatest tips is you can say no. No is a complete sentence. And I know in today's world of instant gratification, everybody wants to please and do the right thing, but sometimes doing the right thing is just saying no. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to create really clear boundaries to,
yes,
protect your own energy, your own mental health. This is beautiful. Really good advice.
And
yeah,
setting boundaries also is a huge part of not being burned out and taking care of your mental and physical health, is setting those boundaries. Be they a time constraint, you are only going to do this for so long, or it's just setting personal boundaries. No, you're not going on that trail ride because you just don't feel like you are ready for it, and respecting those boundaries.
Absolutely. I mean, I had a client in California. I was working with her for quite a while, and then she finally she got really kind of ornery with me and a little condescending. And I finally just said, I think you need to find another instructor, because she didn't value my time or my teaching skills with her. And it was one of the first times I ever had to fire a client, and it felt weird, but then it was also such a liberating thing because you don't have to deal with people like that, and it opens up the door for the people who really will value you.
Yes, most definitely. Your time is valuable. The time that you have invested into your equine journey is something that you can't take back. I mean, that investment is amazing. And the more you invest in it, the greater your equine journey can be. And it doesn't have to be going to clinics. It doesn't have to be showing all the time. It could just simply be going to your local library, public library, pick up a horse book, go to Amazon and order our favorite horse book written by a certain somebody who's sitting in this podcast journey with me.
Your horse believes in you. Is that the one you're mentioning?
Yes. Go out and enjoy time. Enjoy the time that you have. Go to a horse show and watch. You know, one of my favorite classes to watch is the lead line class.
Oh.
There is nothing funnier and just more amazing than cute little kids, especially if they are on tiny little shaggy ponies or giant horses. Little tiny kid on a big old horse will make you smile.
So darling. I love it. Yes.
Yes. And the smaller they are and the bigger the horse they are. Yeah, I can't judge lead line classes. I'll give everybody a blue ribbon. All y'all are cute.
This is reminding me, I got to lead a little boy in a lead line class, and he just randomly just started waving. I'm like, who are you waving to?
Oh, the princess wave.
He says,
wave, yes.
I'm waving to the people. He wanted to make them happy. It was so sweet.
Yes, good old princess wave. Just remember, it's wrist, elbow, elbow.
Okay. These are good tips to know. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see, Carrie, do you have a story about a favorite lesson horse that you want to share?
Oh my gosh. I should write a book about some of the lesson horses that we've had.
Please do.
There are so many. I can't pick a favorite. There are so many. We've got ones that are so in tune to their rider that if they feel their rider's unbalanced, they aren't moving forward. They will plant their feet like pylons in cement until the little rider gets their act together, and then they can continue. We've got horses that are some that teach such valuable lessons, like if you don't learn to post properly, you will break your tailbone. Post or die.
Oh, no.
Little jiggy, rough ponies. We've got horses that I've had of them that will teach how to be still. Mm-hmm. Just, and by still, I mean this horse parked himself in the middle of the trail in a clearing that's in one of our beautiful state forests up here. And it is probably one of the most enchanted. It looks like a giant fairy ring. Oh, wow. And this horse just planted itself right in the middle and just looked around and just appreciated how pretty it was. There are horses that have taught us how to laugh. There is nothing funnier, and there were nothing that will break up a super stuffy dressage clinic than a well-timed pony fart. Let me tell you.
A well-timed pony fart, yes.
A well-timed pony fart. There are so many lesson horses out there, and I tell riders today that every horse you come across will teach you a lesson. You just have to be open to it. It may be a lesson that is learned the hard way, or it may be an absolutely unexpected lesson, one that you never thought you needed to know. But they do. They know what you need to know, and they know what you should not know. They're amazing, absolutely amazing. There are so many lesson horses. oh my gosh, nightmares too, but really good lesson ponies.
Yeah,
for sure.
We are so grateful to have them in our lives, and gosh, they do so much for us.
Yeah.
Do you have a transformation story about a student you'd like to share?
Yeah, so we've got a young rider that I've known, let's see, probably about 10 to 12 years now. And this is a young rider that is a special needs rider. And previously, he was led. So when you're dealing with special needs riders, they have what they call a header or a leader. That's the person that has a lead rope on the horse, and the rider has the reins, and they're just there to keep things from getting too spicy. And this individual had a leader or a header, and they had a sidewalker when they rode at a specific barn. And they came out for a mini ground clinic out at my place. Asked, is there a reason why they have a sidewalker as well as a header? And that the answer I was given was, that's just the way it's done. Okay, well, let's see. His mom was kind of apprehensive about letting him ride independently. I was like, this is at the time that I was using a foundation quarter horse named Pumpkin. If you know me, everybody knows Pumpkin. Said, well, let's let him meet Pumpkin and see how they get along. We'll go from there. Within 45 minutes, he was doing a Western Pleasure jog in the round pen, unassisted. He was not even on a lead rope. And I said, all right, well, honestly, if you want to continue riding at your barn, please do. But just know that if he were to be unassisted, he can most definitely independently. And a year later, he showed at a show that I was managing in a Liberty class, in a freestyle class, not Liberty, it was freestyle. And not only did he walk trot in his class, he also loped. And he ended up in his regular riding classes. He ended up, and I want to say he was either champion or reserve grand champion of that division.
Wow.
And he showed in the correct age division. And it was an open division for his age. And he rides his horse all over the place now. So that transformation is more like he had all the tools. He was just never allowed to explore off of everything. So now, do I just automatically tell people go against what they're trying? No.
Yeah.
If your trainer says that this is how you ride, then, and if you want to stay with that trainer, then please do. But just know that you're not in a box. There are other things that you can do. And explore your other options. And he has his own horse. He's got a nice, beautiful gray quarter horse that he rides all over the place, and he still shows. And he's a wonderful individual. And his mom and dad are both there, always to support him, which is nice too. But that would be my transformation story, is seeing him go from, a sidewalker and a header to riding independently and winning his divisions.
That's brilliant.
He's an amazing guy.
I love that you gave him these possibilities. That's such a beautiful thing.
And I always challenge, well, okay, you're told to ride like this. Why?
Right.
Explain to me why. If you know, please, just give me the reasonings, and then we'll go.
And then go from there. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool, Carrie. What's something that surprised you while you were teaching?
Surprised me. So it's one of those aha moments. The surprise me would be that I am, let's see, I'm trying to phrase this tactfully. There was an aha moment probably about 15 years ago that I realized maybe I don't know as much as I thought I knew. And that was surprising for me because I've been very fortunate to ride under some of the most amazing horsemen and horsewomen on the planet. Some of them are incredibly well known, Olympic level riders and trainers. And there are some that are just absolutely cut from the most humble cloth in the world. That the fact that there's so much more to the horse world that you cannot possibly know everything. Once you think you know everything, it's time to back it down and realize just again another aspect of how much we don't know. So what was surprising to me is there is no limit to what you can learn about this industry, about the different sports, the breeds. The universe is endless. And it's not just, everybody who knows me knows I'm a big Marvel fan. It's not just timelines. It's like multiverse. There is so many things in our equine world that to other things, and they play into other worlds. And it is absolutely fantastic. I never knew from riding and doing equine reenacting how much going down the rabbit holes of learning the history would expound to learning why we ride the way we ride, and be it tradition or biomechanics. If it's tradition, then that's just peer pressure from dead people. We don't have to do that if we don't want to. But biomechanics is, if it's round, it's going to roll. So what's the need to reinvent the wheel? So that would be, a necessary thing. But yeah, traditions, that's peer pressure from dead people. Let's do away with that and just do our own thing and have fun.
Brilliant. So cool. Yeah, it's a humbling thing, and it's also a really exciting thing to know there's so much more to learn. And I'm always like, I wish I had more time. I wish I could be like in the Matrix and just plug in all the books and knowledge that I want to take
for sure. Most definitely.
But we just do what we can and keep learning as much as we can. I love that.
Yes.
Okay, if you could teach a master class to other instructors, what would the topic be? And can you share a few key points that you would share, that you would focus on?
My master class, if I could teach it, would be how to listen to your riders, how to listen to your students. There is so much more to our students than what we realize. So, and this is a two-way street. Give me just a second.
Sure.
So there is so much more to our students than what we realize, and we need to acknowledge that. Like I'm going to use my rider from this morning or from this afternoon. The lesson before this, she had a bad day. I didn't ask. I just could tell she was having a bad day. Parents confirmed she was having a bad day. Okay, that's no problem. So they only see us for an hour and a half at the most, per week. And their life is so much more out there than what we know. And on the same side of that, they only see our horses for an hour and a half or so a week at every lesson. So they only get to feel that magic once a week for an hour and a half at the most. And they have to fit an entire week of living into that. So listening to your rider, we have such a short amount of time with them. We need to maximize what they need. They may not need to work on figure eights and our diagonals. They just maybe need to be. At the same time as that, listening to our rider and knowing when to push them out of their comfort zone and knowing when it's not a good idea. So again, where we were taught to be goal-oriented, more result-oriented than goal-oriented. So with that results, we have to fight with that old way of teaching of maximizing their potential in the shortest amount of time. No, we need to listen, and we need to figure out what they need. Maybe not what they want at the moment, but what they need. And that's, to me, is incredibly important, because as a young rider and as a young trainer, I had nobody who would listen, who did not know what they needed. And shoot, half the time I didn't know what I needed. So listening to your rider and learning to pick up on their cues, just like our horses pick up on our cues, we can be open and sensitive enough to pick up on our riders' cues. And I tell my riders that I don't even have to look at them. I can watch my horse and I can tell what kind of mood they're in. I can see how they're feeling just by how my horse is moving. And if I can do that with my horse, and if my horse could do that with that rider, then I should be able to pick up a little bit of what my horse is picking up on. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's so good to notice, because you know your horses really well, obviously. So if something's a little bit off, you immediately can go back and scan your rider. It's just like when you're riding your horse and your horse does a little weird thing. You're like, wait, was that me or you? No, it's probably me. Let me adjust my position. Let me adjust my thoughts, breathe through it, So it's such a beautiful thing that you're bringing up, is to look for all the subtleties. So when your horse is doing a little bit something different than normal, hey, something's going on with my student. And also what you said earlier, in that your horses will really communicate on such subtle levels. So the more you watch, the more you understand them, then you'll be able to understand what's going on with your students too. And some of them...
For sure. I mean, yeah. I tell the kids, a horse can feel a fly land on their butt.
Yeah.
They can tell if you're holding your breath. They can tell if you're looking to the left or to the right. If they can tell that, then yeah, pick up on it.
Yep. And there's some students that are like super talkative, and then they'll get even more talkative when they're nervous, or they'll get like really quiet. You're like, okay, something's up. Right.
For sure. Yeah. And my style is that I'm going to try to adapt to my client as much as I possibly can. If I have a nervous rider, I'm going to try to put them at ease. My horse will try to put them at ease, because nobody likes tension. Nobody. So what I'll do is I will ride with them. I'll ride my other horse and ride with them. We'll do some pas de deux, some little goofy things. We're going to play a mirror game, do exactly what I do, but do the opposite, something like that. Or I will go into I call it the chatterbox routine. If they're super nervous, I'll start spouting just random facts of horses. Do you know why we ride like this? Do you know why the saddle is built like this? Did you know that the horse has the largest eyeball of any land animal? I mean, just random stuff. And I have a whole slew of funny ones for nervous kids. Just things like that. Just, you got to feel them out. Feel them out.
Oh, that's so smart. I love that. Do you ever play music for them while they're riding?
Yes. I have a fantastic little Bluetooth speaker that I absolutely love, and I'll clip it onto my saddle, and it's got pretty great range for Bluetooth. I do have a saddlebag that I'll throw my spare phone in just in the back, just in case. And I have a funky playlist that has everything from The Little Mermaid to PG-rated Vanilla Ice to goofy 70s stuff to big band. It's all over the place. And I'll get people that ride, and it's like they'll listen to the music like, is that really? Oh my gosh, that's weird. I haven't heard that since high school or whatnot. But at the same time, I use a lot of music for the beat itself, because some of it's written in 2/4. That's my trot work. My 4/4, my 2/4 is mostly my trot work. Any of the waltzes, a lot of Ozzy Osbourne is written in 3/4 time. So that's my good canter work. But yeah, I use music a lot. A lot.
That's so fun. I love that. Yeah, I've usually encouraged my clients to sing and count and make up new lyrics to songs that they know for their horses.
Oh, yes.
And it's so fun. I love that. Is there anything else you'd like to add that I haven't asked you?
You've done a fantastic job. These questions are amazing. I always read questions. If I'm being interviewed, I'll read the questions, but I won't answer them until somebody actually asks me in the interview, because I like to shoot off the cuff, and you can tell. You can tell. These are excellent questions. I think if I were to add anything, it would be to find ways to improve yourself in your teaching journey. If you're teaching clients and you are getting bored or burnt out, you need to take care of yourself. That is huge. If your program is dated, or if you're just not attracting the right clients, find a way to shift it. I know that when I started really advertising for the clients I wanted, my writing program really improved. Now, am I attracting tons of clients? No, because that's not what I wanted. I just want just a few. But yeah, just shift, be adaptable.
Beautiful. Okay, last question for you. If you could create a billboard for other riding instructors, what is the one thing you'd like them to see?
Happy instructors. Happy instructors make happy clients, and happy instructors have happy horses. So find that happiness.
Beautiful.
Be happy.
Ooh, I got chills again. That was so fun. Carrie, thank you so much for sharing all of your insights and spending time on this podcast. I love having you on here.
I enjoy it, and I know I'm all over the place answering questions and tangents, but yeah, I really like this platform, and the fact that you're reaching out to other riding instructors is absolutely amazing. I love hearing how other people handle situations and what their thoughts are on other things. And the riding instructor community is small, and finding quality instructors to just hang out with and listen to that are of the same vibe it's getting really hard. I'm about 45 minutes north of the World Equestrian Center in Ocala. So trainers and instructors here are a dime a dozen, but quality instructors are very hard to find. And I'll take quality over quantity any day.
I hear you.
Any day.
Well, my hope is that we'll be on a quest to help create more quality and help expand and elevate the teaching world out there, so all the humans and horses will feel better.
For sure. And finding a place that is safe to ask questions about how to handle situations with clients. I think that safe space is very, very important. Things like, well, we just brought it up, how to fire a client, how to do it professionally without burning, your entire reputation down. There are questions like that's a void that needs to be filled. A place that instructors can ask and get information and just hang out with like-minded people. It's so refreshing. It really, truly is. I'm enjoying this series, and I hope you continue it.
Absolutely.
I really do.
And there'll be more in store for sure. And behind the scenes, I'm working on more things for instructors. So
you're always
stay
working.
tuned.
I love it.
I'm an insatiable learner and an insatiable creator, because I am
exactly.
My human design is emotional, manifesting generator, and I just can't stop.
Yes. I love it. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. I will take power naps.
There we go. Oh, nap. Yes. Nap hard, play harder. Yes. That's the rules.
Well, I appreciate your tangents. That's what makes these kinds of things fun. And again, thank you so much. I'm going to close out with thank you for listening, everyone. Please review on your podcast platform wherever you are. I'd love to get more reviews on there. If you are an instructor listening to this and want to be on my podcast, please reach out at support@inspiredriding.com. If you'd like to know more about my business, you can go to inspiredriding.com, and on the homepage, there are a lot of free things available you can check out. I do have meditations for equestrians. I have the Focus app. I have the companion journal for inspired riders that Carrie mentioned briefly. Of course, my book, Your Horse Believes in You, is out on Amazon and on Audible. You can hear me reading it to you. So there you go, you guys. Thank you again. Sending love to all of you. Remember to lead with kindness for yourself and for your horse. And may the horse be with you always.